Now to the latest on the serial stalker arrested in Chatham County. Tonight, sheriff's making a new plea to any victims, and we've got video and information about this suspect you will only see on WSAV. Nathaniel Crawford was arrested earlier this week, charged with attempted kidnapping and stalking. He was already out on probation from a previous aggravated assault arrest in Chatham County. Now, Chatham County Sheriff's investigators say since we first aired this arrest, a total of 6 victims have come forward or been identified, but they believe there are even more. WSAV has obtained exclusive new video of the suspect right there. It comes from the view at Oglethorpe Apartments earlier this month. It shows Crawford hanging around alleged victim's home, and then, yes, you see it. He switches later into a ski mask, possibly to hide his identity. Investigators say he may have used that exact same mask in other crimes as well. And sheriff's investigators back at that same apartment complex today talking to residents who may have seen Crawford, who have any information that may help them find more of those victims. Detectives have been canvassing the entire area as well as areas around Savannah's South Side and Middle Ground Road where they believe Crawford may have been searching for more targets. Now, investigators want to stress there is no threat to the public right now. Crawford is behind bars without bond. They want to make sure, though, they hear from anyone who may have had contact with Crawford or were attacked by him. If you think you can help, call investigator Trey Connors. The number on your screen right now, 912-644-5136. Again, 912-644-5136.
She was a victim of domestic violence. Now a local mother is pushing to create a registry to protect other survivors in Georgia. WSAV's Isabella Baez talked to her about what she experienced.
Savannah Marchant is a survivor of domestic violence and now an advocate for others. She hopes to establish a domestic violence registry, one she says she wishes existed during the darkest moments of her own life. Marchant recalls her upbringing, saying she remembers the yelling, fighting, the walls that had been punched in, and having to lock her and her sisters in a room away from the violence, something she doesn't want any other family to experience. Now, years later, she is looking to create a domestic violence registry in Georgia, one that models after Tennessee's, where they have a public database that let people know who they might be letting into their home.
A violence registry would be like for an offender, if they do commit it, that they would have to be put on a registry for like the next person to see it. And it helps us for not only the families, the people that go in it, the children, the adults, the men, but it helps us to make sure that we won't be able to be involved with that person. And if we do take that chance to be involved, we know the consequences that possibly could happen.
To find a link to the petition, you can head to our website at WSAV.com. Reporting in Savannah, I'm Isabel Baez, WSAV News 3 on your side.
4 people have now been arrested in connection to the robbery at Best Buy. Savannah police say so far Dorian Allen, Brenda Gardner, Savannah Pendergraph, and Shabria Summers are facing charges for theft. Allen, an employee at the store, claims he was blackmailed into helping several people steal more than $40,000 worth of merchandise in December. News 3 will continue to update this story for you, and we'll let you know as that information becomes available on air and online.
A high-speed chase across Jasper County ended with one man in handcuffs and drugs and weapons seized. Taking a look now at exclusive video sent to WSAV of the chase. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office say it began yesterday when deputies spotted a reckless speeding car. When officers attempted to pull the driver over, it led to that high-speed chase that ended on Roseland Road in Ridgeland. That's where the driver crashed and tried to run away. Inside that car, deputies found marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, and a stolen gun. 40-year-old Terrell Kemp was tracked by a canine and arrested. He now faces charges of DUI, possession of several drugs and a stolen pistol, as well as failure to stop for blue lights.
In the Lowcountry, 3 Beaufort County men have been arrested on child sexual abuse material charges. Christopher Hirschberger of Burton, Brandon Baker of St. Helena Island, and Donald Peace of Bluffton are facing a total of 15 charges in connection to a sexual exploitation of minors. Investigators confirm one of those men worked with children. WSAV's Danielle Cobb has been digging deeper, and she has the details.
One of those men charged with child pornography is Brandon Baker. He was arrested here at Sea Island Sprouts, a preschool serving children ages 1 to 4. It was confirmed he was employed at the school. Investigators say cyber tips from the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children led them to Baker. He is now facing 1 count second degree and 2 counts third degree of sexual exploitation of a minor after investigators found he possessed and distributed the material. After some digging, WSAV learned Baker was previously under investigation in 2024 for possession of child pornography in Telluride, Colorado. According to a press release by Telluride authorities, the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force flagged Baker. He was also serving as a preschool teacher there at the time. The news release says Baker was released after questioning, and the investigation was considered to still be active as of 2024. Preschool officials released a statement to WSAV that says, in quote, "At the time of hiring, all required background checks were completed in accordance with state licensing requirements." According to South Carolina's Social Services Child Care and Early Education Department, child care employees are required to undergo a criminal background check through SLED, the FBI, and the National Crime Information Center's Sex Offender Registry. School officials say Baker is no longer employed by the school. The Attorney General's office is leading the investigation, and as of today, Baker and the 2 other men remain in jail, and they're possibly facing up to several years in prison. Danielle Cobb, WSAV News 3, on your side.
A court-martialed former drill instructor from Parris Island now facing troubling civil charges. 42-year-old Joseph Felix was arrested by Beaufort County Sheriff's deputies for a cruelty to children. The charge says the crime involved torture and deprivation. Felix was sentenced 10 years in prison back in 2017 for hazing and abusing recruits at Parris Island. One of those recruits, Rahil Siddiqui, jumped over a stairwell to his death. Witnesses testified that Felix referred to Siddiqui and other Muslims as terrorists.
The Beaufort city manager wants to change the way his city's Facebook page looks, proposing a no comment policy on that page. This comes after he says there's been an increase in the volume, tone, and complexity of those comments. City officials are weighing removing comments entirely from posts to make the page strictly informational. City Manager Scott Marshall says they don't currently have staff to monitor the increase, leading to a higher risk for allegations, misinformation, and personal attacks. He says a no comment policy would also lower the city's legal risk of censoring comments. Several residents say instead of addressing issues posed in those comments, though, they feel they've been silenced.
What concerns me the most is not the idea of moderating comments. It's the framing of public dialogue as a liability instead of responsibility. When engagement becomes difficult, the solution is not to limit access. It's to strengthen the processes and capacity that support it.
This decision now in the hands of City Council, but Marshall says if they don't adopt the policy, he would need to incorporate a social media manager into his 2027 budget. Well, 1 year has now passed since an Army Black Hawk helicopter collided with an American Airlines jet on approach to Reagan National Airport. That crash killed 67 people, everyone in both aircrafts. Among
those victims, Sam Lilly, a Richmond Hill native who was the co-pilot on that passenger flight. WSAV's Washington correspondent Vinay Simlot is joining us live now from the airport to explain what has changed since the crash.
Yeah, Tina, Andrew, it happened a year ago today. A plane heading here to Reagan National Airport did not make it. And since that crash, the NTSB has issued 50 recommendations to try to improve safety and prevent another crash. A new NTSB animation shows the likely cockpit view of the final moments of American Airlines Flight 5342 approaching Reagan National Airport before it crashed into an Army Black Hawk helicopter and plunged into the icy Potomac River.
I think we've made some progress.
Virginia Senator Mark Warner says the FAA has made some changes since the crash, but not enough.
We have the most congested airspace with the military, with the fact of the president flying in and out.
What has changed, the FAA has closed Helicopter Route 4, which the Black Hawk helicopter flew at the time of the crash. The NTSB says that route put helicopters 75 feet from an aircraft approaching runway 33.
The data was there.
But Senator Warner says there's still too much traffic at Reagan. The airport has the busiest runway in the country because politicians keep adding flights.
Because it's easier to fly out of Nashville than it is to fly out of Dulles.
After the crash, the NTSB renewed its call to require more precise location data for all aircraft with a tool called ADSB In and Out. At the time of the crash, the Army helicopter wasn't transmitting its location, and the American Airlines plane wasn't receiving that more precise location data.
They would have, with ADS-B in, gotten an alert at 59 seconds before the collision.
And there is legislation that passed the Senate called the Rotor Act that would require flights across the United States to include ADS-B in and ADS-B out. So far, though, it's only passed the Senate, needs to go through the House and be signed by the president to become law.